You got to see how old Joe responded to questions about the tremendous injustice just rendered against Donald Trump by the kangaroo court system when his staff dressed him and brought him out before the press yesterday in order to issue a statement about it. But, of course, didn't take any questions because he's not capable of formulating coherent answers.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir?
A smirk. A smirk is his response.
Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign? We'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Should he be on the ballot, sir?
It's actually a miracle that he's able to read a teleprompter at this point. I mean, that you got to hand to him. But these were some of his prepared remarks about the situation.
And it's reckless, it's dangerous, it's irresponsible for anyone to say this was rigged just because they don't like the verdict.
So you're not allowed to have an unauthorized opinion about the outcome of the 2020 presidential election. Otherwise, you're dangerous and undermining democracy. And those statements need to be censored from social media. And now you're also not allowed to question the legitimacy of this kangaroo court. You must be right, old Joe. I mean, if Hillary Clinton did the same thing and didn't properly classify an alleged campaign expense, surely she would have been arrested and convicted and facing jail time, right? Ha ha ha! Oh, wait, what's this? That's right, the Federal Election Commission only fined Hillary Clinton for doing that exact thing. Remember this? This was after the campaign was caught, surprisingly, trying to cover up their payments into the Steele dossier, the fake news Russia dossier that started the entire Russia witch hunt. Even the Cloud News Network surprisingly reported on it at the time. Federal election regulators fined Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign and the Democratic National Committee for not properly disclosing the money they spent on controversial opposition research, fake news, the fake dossier, that led to the infamous Trump-Russia dossier. The DNC was fined $105,000 and the Clinton campaign was fined $8,000. Oh no. Speaking of the devil, here she is gloating.
Thank you so much. Anything going on today?
Oh, but I saw on CNN that Democrats weren't gloating or happy at all. It was a very somber time for them, too. And remember when Adam Schiff said this after Bill Barr said that there should be an investigation into how the Russia hoax started and who is responsible?
Bill Barr, on the president's behalf, is weaponizing the Justice Department to go after the president's enemies. I've served for years, I don't anymore, on a commission that would help emerging democracies. And we would always inform the parliamentarians in these democracies, when you win an election, you don't seek to just prosecute the losing side.
Oh, well, that's very interesting. Hey, old Joe, would you like to just blatantly, openly admit how you are undermining the rule of law in our country?
Supreme Court blocked me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me.
Yes, the Supreme Court did rule that it is unconstitutional for the President of the United States to take out a magic wand or his presidential pen in order to magically erase tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt for millions of college graduates in hopes of buying their votes. But as old Joe openly admits, he found a loophole that he's not concerned about being prosecuted for because Democrats are above the law. Here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying that it's Republicans who are politicizing the verdict and that we're the ones undermining democracy by having an unauthorized opinion about what it is that they've done and are trying to do to Donald Trump.
Important to note that despite the initial statements trying to politicize this verdict, saying that it was somehow partisan or Democrats or what have you,
the truth,
Donald Trump was convicted by a jury of his peers.
Oh, juries are never political and never biased at all. That's interesting because isn't it the Democrats who say that the reason why there are so many black people in jail isn't because they've committed the crimes, but because the unfair, racist, biased juries just always convict because they don't like black people. And the reason they're doing anything and everything, no matter how underhanded, unethical, and illegal in hopes of stopping Donald Trump from becoming the president again, is quite obvious. Even CNN's resident statistician can't spin the polls.
Bring major change to the U.S.? Look at this. 65% of voters under the age of 30 say they want a candidate to bring major change to the U.S. And in that same poll, you know which candidate they thought would bring major change to the country? They thought Donald Trump would.
Well, maybe there's hope for Generation Z after all. And within just 24 hours after the kangaroo court issued their ridiculous verdict, Donald Trump raised more than $53 million in campaign contributions online through DonaldJTrump.com if you're interested in contributing yourself. That's more than $2 million per hour. And that is a new record for the highest amount fundraised in a 24-hour period from a presidential candidate ever. And the Democrats are getting more aggravated every day now that Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito still hasn't recused himself from the pending decisions regarding Donald Trump and the immunity and the classified documents and all that. And now Chief Justice John Roberts said that it's up to individual justices whether or not they want to decide to recuse. So they're going to try to have congressional hearings, and they're going to try to force him to leave the court because they're thinking that if they can bump a conservative off from deciding those cases, that maybe Donald Trump will lose in the Supreme Court as well. And this is one of the reasons that they're using for why he should recuse himself or be pulled from the case, because there was a fantastic Revolutionary War flag, an Appeal to Heaven flag, the pine tree flag, flying outside of his vacation home. And so they're saying that that is an extremist symbol now.
2 full days have passed now since the second flag was found at the second Alito home, the summer home in New Jersey. The second flag was one that was carried by the attackers of the Capitol on January 6th, just like the upside-down American flag was. This one is called an Appeal to Heaven flag. Justice Alito has not recused himself from 2 cases currently pending before the Supreme Court involving the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, including Donald Trump's possible complicity in that attack. He has, of course, an obligation to recuse himself.
The Appeal to Heaven flag is sort of like the Don't Tread on Me flag. It's a symbol dating back to the early days of America and symbolizing the founding and the freedoms that we have in this fantastic country. So, I guess it used to be fantastic. It's not doing so well these days, obviously. But, of course, I did put an Appeal to Heaven symbol on a new shirt, which you can order from my online store at markdice.com, or click the link in the description below. This is one of those shirts where the morons most likely won't know what it means. To be one of those safer designs that isn't going to attract too much attention from the wrong kind of people. And it's a great way to signal to other patriots that you are a true American. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check it out.